Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there osia dem yopo.
ECG story no. The reason why at the NPP they don't want us to talk about ECG. Containers ayira ECG equipment. On say na say videos be around. Manfo hu say ECG cables. Yako dampen wo insawem aduagiri anodompre. Mameka bibi nkyerɛ mo. Anodompre saa nyoma na muhu no ne constituency nya ne dia. Tie. Sa ECG equipment, cables, poles. Now before me de mo bɛkɔ ECG story no, me pese me bie mo adwene na mo hu bibi first. Now, muntie Kennedy Japan, time ɔkɔ PZ kɔ kasa, muntie ne ye pa. Ɔka ECG nsɛm bi. Ye wi abebuta question na afei ma kyerɛ mo ECG no. Omo bɔ mo krono no. The reason why MPP for one person bɛka ECG no ho asɛm. The reason why Afenyomakin has stayed away from the ECG matter. Anything Afenyomakin in parliament can say, yen yina ba ko ni solve ECG problem. No. Omo wiya mo no, omo wiya Ghana no MPP for. Na mo mienko back kakra. Na yen tie Kennedy Japan or call PZ no or can bibi fa ECG in some ho polls ho. Mi wiya me bie weni wa ade bi ho.
Suppose na mo pay any cables wires samudi begusua. Very simple. Ye ni abemu and so metimi ama Ministry of Energy as supreme was our cables in speed light. Me kwa me warehouse. No matter suppose you know me will be gua. As for street light in here, my friend me a setting. Some street light. It may call no matter warehouse. So even ago, some here. Some here, nessa Ministry of Energy, a better. Me anka some top post, you know, at the Abram. And the say, Sikana de Bayan. Send your much of magnitude. And our branch will mean so. Gaji, you discovered by Ejuma. Many a talk and some bottoms is here, temptation of a bam.
Now, Kennedy call PZ, you know, or can't send me. Or say, suppose any cables number pa. Any the easy, any din easy job. In fact, now buy any power. Then so obey to me alpha ways be my Minister of Energy no at the poles any cables libya bromo. Nempo se minister ne kraka se oh nya on one kasa our warehouse or poles any cables gum. In fact, or say what check it or you're very sure say street light there oh be breguo. Kennedy Japan, remember ne lawyer ne Afenyomakin. Afenyomakin on a board chair of ECG. Now, Kennedy Japan, in the past, your man a contract to supply electricity lights. Street lights. Ever since there, we are yet to see the full complement of Nyoma supply. Ever since there, Kennedy Japan Jessica on any company ni Jessica. Ever since there, the supplying of those street lights no. Ever since there, you now an MP who is not the Minister of Energy comes to tell you, say, our warehouse ECG posts gum, our warehouse street lights gum, and that he will be going to bring those poles and street lights. Mumusa Kennedy Japan say, your man yere any or no contract say on supply street lights no, or to me supplier na, dabi. Yenya street lights now on supply no, and na. In fact, the poles now say. A good warehouse. Any street lights in a good warehouse. No. Ye Busan said, Okotoya for Dien, and you know, Nyano. Our ECG contract be na, yes, our millions of ECG contractor may they bet show very soon. You see, these people, they have played on your conscience and done everything to indirectly taken from you without you people knowing. Also, and the Onwanga General Catcher must say, poles, street lights, any sign your manomano, or will be. Now the question is, Yenim ni krom eye asem dumpim light kura bi ni ho. That means the street light na egu no, poles na egu no. Ya pese Kennedy Japan kyerɛ baby okoto ni nyina free ye. Ya pese o kyerɛ baby a onya sa light ni nyina. Now sa video na mo hu na mama ko hu eye cables any poles ewo nsawe mu no eye anodompre na me be kyerɛ the connection anodompre work with this stolen eye containers. Any the role I will play in these stolen containers, any ECG materials. On sa video way, it's making it's on circulation on social media. Watch this video very well. Sa your mama copy no another pre constituency in the war.
No, not be a buy a honey intina. And no pay dear. I say it to me, but never my motion ye. Shouldn't ye? Because Morgana. Becca just Papa and Bobra. Papa and Bobra, and Sonny Papa. Do say an echo. Yeah. Enti area mo nipa kwantia. Nipa antia enti omo the dada sa na ma we nyina koso omo hu na omo report na nkofo antiki ahye. Ah. So big company no run. Pay on about site in this. And it go to Ghana. We will go on. Mm-mm.
This time 2024. It's a fresh crowd.
Ah, fresh crowd. Fresh crowd.
And yes, sir, ecstatic blue with Badia. People will pass her. But if you say you'll be camping.
Oh, yeah.
Also, to me, found some funny machine never found. And I will be poor vein.
So another pre constituency post we are not on predia. Now me be show how we are ECG cables, street lights, posts. Remember, Peter Mbe ube kachire say abain MPP abain Emma Kennedy Japan a street light contract 100 million or supply one supply he kept it. And me wuna beka just said they gave Kennedy Japan, ECG ma Kennedy Japan, 100 million contracts, street lights. It and Kennedy Bejina PZ, no catch them say, our street lights be breguo, our poles be breguo. They know what they are telling you. Because ECG street light belongs to the government of Ghana. It Kennedy Japan, contractor the man, no, was he able to supply all the poles and street lights? No. And anything that oye bold or kojina PZ, me was street lights go. In fact, my friend me warehouse a gum. Metse sebia bremo because ECG, you know, they were running it as friends. Now I make sure the link at the Kudientia. You see these people, the MPP are quiet on the ECG matter. And anything that after your marking, Kasongo 99. Onte say waka ECG asem no hu biem. Una de kro. He is guilty. Investigations say koso. They know some of them. Hey, ECG are their way. The time of movie investigations, so the NPP will not have a front in parliament. The NPP in parliament, they will not have a front. That is the reason why the NPP minority in parliament, they have moved away from the ECG issue. Argentina NPP and your press conference kakraka about the ECG. Say NDC is accusing them of something. Why do you think they have stayed away from the ECG matter? Argentina NPP fonka ECG no. Argentina, they have stayed away from the conversation. It is because they know that their main men are the ones who committed the crime. Now, let's go into the books. You see this. And the strategy they put together, and interest was study another prayer on can ECG no one sem on can be on can one some cry. But another prayer, do you know say he was on the board of ECG? Do you know? The minority chief whip, Habib, do you know he was also on the board of ECG? The minority leader, Afenyo Makin, these people. Come out. Do you know these three people who are leading the MPP today in Ghana? The minority. All these three people were on the board of ECG. Yeah. Crime now moving in our ECG. From the board now, I'm taking that decision now, mu cables, more lights, mu bibiano. These three people who are leading the MPP today in parliament, all these three people were on the board of ECG. Time my issue when you know AC, another was on the board, Afenyo Makin was on the board, and Habib Idrisu, the minority chief whip, he was also on the board. It is a minority in parliament. If they have refused to speak on this ECG matter, then it means they are front. They know the three of them, they can all end up in jail. Now let's go back and I'm show how they did the plan and why they are quiet. These are dangerous people. You never listen to MPP or anybody speaking for MPP. Because you see, party is a disease. Now let's go back. You're starting free. You see, in 2022, Chenye, Napo, in 2022, Napo was the energy minister. Nature will be a plan free. In 2022, Napo was the energy minister. The deputy energy minister, ne Ejapa Mesa. And the second deputy, near friend Williams Owusu Edu. Now, when you go to ECG board, Tamana Napo energy minister now, it was Kelly Gajepo. The MD of ECG was Dubik Mahama. And then Anodom Pre was a board member of ECG in 2022. Did you know? Yeah. Anodom Pre today is the minority leader. Deputy minority leader in parliament for the NPP. He is deputy to Afenyo Makin. So in 2022, I want to say another prayer ECG in one press conference. The front of the NPP, they have moved away from that conversation is because they were the ones who orchestrated the crime. In 2022, now another prayer was sitting on the board of ECG. All the decisions that were being taken, another prayer was part of it. And you do not think, say, NPP, Afenyo Makin quickly coming out to tell you, say, Ghanaians, let us all solve the ECG problem as a nationalistic thing. They are the ones who did the damage. They are the ones who connived and teamed up our ECG boss and ECG to destroy a ECG. Intusha, Napo, Energy Minister, 2022. Ejapa Mesa, Deputy Energy Minister, and Mr. Edu, Second Deputy. Now, but ECG boss na Kelly Gajepo, na Dubik Mahama as the MD of ECG, and Anodom Pre. Now, here. Now, when you come to 2023, something happened. In 2023, changes were made. Remember, this is the same group. And the Omokacho said Dumusaba, Monso Caniano, Mamen Chamo. Sa video na buko uno, eye in Sawadu Ejino. Sanyo many are not on Predia. He stole it from ECG. Because he was on the board of ECG. Yeah. 2023. In the year 2023, Nana Po and a energy minister. And na omuchenji ejapamesa. And omude obi a friend Herbert Krapper ebe share as deputy. Remember, 2022, ejapamesa was the deputy to Napo. Omuba 2023 no, and omuchenji ejapamesa and omude Krapper ebe share, and they maintained the second deputy minister, Edu, as energy ministry. Into Napo State, they changed ejapamesa and omude Krapper Herbert Krapper be share, and omu maintaining second deputy energy minister. Now, over ECG in 2023, did anything happen? In 2023, Kaligajapo was still there. Herbert Dubik Mahama was still there as the MD. Arno Dompre in 2023 was still a member of the ECG board. Or a criminal guy. And it just only say ECG as some wakebi. That is why they have moved. That is why they don't want that conversation to go on. That is why today you don't see them having press conferences to be demanding ECG containers na irano because posts ni cables na irano a women fire. And you see, it's so interesting. Say it is the leadership of the minority today. They were the people who were sitting on the board of ECG. Now, when Ejapa was taken out, Ayade Herbert Krapper, something also happened. In 2024, Herbert Krapper, he was acting as the board chair. March 2024, Herbert Krapper na obey deputy to Napono. He became the acting board chair of ECG. Inti the same time now Oya deputy to Napono, he became the acting board chair of ECG. Efrisena Keligajapo in March 2024 had resigned. Inti they brought Herbert Krapper from the ministry to be the acting board chair of ECG board. In 2024 March, na Arno Dompre was still on the board of ECG. Now, Dubik Mahama was still in post, was still at post because March 2024, now Dubik Mahama resigning yet. Now, why not resigning? Keligajapo. Into Omo Movie Krapper, who was the deputy energy minister, they made him the acting board chair of ECG. Into Saosha, changes now, Bano, Krapper or top, Krapper or down. He was acting as board chair and also the deputy minister in 2024 March. Team. Nti Krapper be board chair acting when Keligajapo resigned as the board chair of ECG. Inti still, Arno Dompre is constant from 2022, 2023, 2024. Arno Dompre was on the board of ECG. Inti all the decisions that were being taken, Arno Dompre was sitting in there. Napo was in there. Dubik Mahama was in there. Now Krapper abe some substitution be which is not permanent. Now, Ekufuado would need a board chair for ECG because Keligajapo has resigned. Krapper is a deputy energy minister. He's acting as the board chair of ECG. Into MPP4 had to make some changes because they needed their cartels still to control ECG. So what did they do? This was in March 2024. So that time, Napo MBF running mate to Edian Abozege. Napo was still the substantive energy minister. Don't get it wrong. March, Napo da who is substantive energy minister. Now, this is what happened. Make sure be a problem ni free. And into the MPP, they are not speaking about the ECG issue, no, because on front are criminals. They will all go to jail. Investigations are still ongoing. That is why they are mute. Now, I'm sure idea. Now, in November, you see, in November 2024, Satana Napo Eko Okakoye running mate ama dein ama eye dein ama eye MPP ama Baumia. Napo left as the energy minister. Now, what they did was that they brought Krapa back to become the substantive energy minister. And the second deputy minister, the deputy. Now, when it comes to the ECG boss, they moved Afenyomakin to become the ECG board chair. And then this man called Kobna Ajimambedu, ECG MD, because November, not Dubik Mahama so resigning. Kaligajapo echo March. Dubik Mahama so echo close to elections, September thereabout. They needed a new MD for ECG. Omdi Afenyomakin Ebesheho as the board chair of ECG. They brought another person to replace Dubik Mahama. And what happens? They brought the deputy chief whip. Time na omo parliament, omo power no. Na acquire friend Habib Idrisu. Not or your majority chief whip. Not or your third to Afenyomakin. They brought that guy to be on the board of ECG. Technically, Anodom Prayer has been on ECG boards for about 3 years. Now, you're changing Keligaje Po resigning. Krapa Ako as a substantive minister because Napoko running mate. And the Afenyomakin can have show. Now you ask, say, why na shame fino? Dubik Mahama Soko into the wine about Kobna. Now, Kwamina. Now, share baby a trick in all. The reason why you are not seeing Anodom Prayer here and say, Afenyomakin was the board chair of the road fund. Now, what they did was that they moved Anodom Prayer from the ECG board to go and take over at the road fund, and they brought Afenyomakin from the road fund to be the board chair of ECG. Now, you see the trick. So, Anodom Prayer for about 3 years has been on the board of ECG. Now, they still needed their campaign in the front, one of them to come and handle ECG board. They had to take Anodom Prayer to substitute Afenyomakin from the road fund board for Afenyomakin to come here as a substantive board chair of ECG. Into Anodom Prayer left around November 20. He left before the elections to go ahead the road fund. Into anything I won't say Habib Abeshaw. Into so follow what they did. It was a simple chess they were playing with you. The NPP as we speak today. Now let me show you this. Obi Obeka say there are some people who have doubt about these people. Now you see, Anodom Prayer joins ECG board July 30th, 2021. And I almost swear Anodom Prayer in as a board member of ECG. Ntebia, audience asama ye kano, ye can dia share Anodom Prayer kon. No. Sa post na muna adwejire no. Anodom Prayer dia. Or a lot of them, Kennedy Muobi, Afenyomakin Muobi, they have stolen everything from the container. Inti, say, Uko back to look at what actually happened now. Sir Habib and Afenyomakin, they all came into the ECG or joined the ECG board in July 2024. Sanko for me and say we are only the MPP or parliament, they are the ones who destroyed ECG. These three criminals. It's ECG problem now. Yeka na nkofobia dina MPP form person mekasa oma dino. It is Habib who is the minority chief whip, Afenyomakin who is also the minority whip, and then Anodom Prayer who is also the minority chief whip. Only Afenyomakin who is now the minority leader. These three people are the ones that the ECG cause our problem. That is why ECG container theft in the buy, they were saying, oh, wait there, a national issue. We should all come together and solve it. That Ben out say Anodom Prayer can ECG as some nubi. Have you heard him speak on it? Have you ever heard this Habib guy speak on the ECG container theft? Afenyomakin Ebeka say, oh, guys, let us all come together as a people. No. Videos now muhuno. In some Kennedy kano. These people are the people who containers in a free ports. Almost setting up a company. Okay? This is when Habib Idrisu was basically make evidence, no? But they are not done the actual. Okay. Habib was sworn in. Habib Denini by Napo. Habib and Afenyomakin were sworn in by Napo, the energy minister, to go sit on the ECG board in July 2024. So the MPP you are seeing right now, Omo front, no, omo leadership, no, they are criminals. They are the corporates. ECG container theft now. That is why the NPP leadership, they have refused to speak on it. Investigations, they know that some of them will go to jail. And they don't even want to do press conference. Their communicators are not speaking on it. Social media, no, they don't want to speak on these things because the leadership may say NDC person will break MPP. I mean, the good party, no. Afenyo Markin is still begging behind the scenes. Afenyo Markin is begging. Habib, Arnold Dompre, Afenyo Markin. These three criminals, these guys. Now, let me show you also on ECG website. They published it. Now, when you read ECG Ankasa website, what they wrote there, my man one kind. So if you saw all about Mr. Afenyo Markin succeeded Mr. Krapa, who has been appointed as Minister of State at the Ministry of Energy. Mr. Krapa's elevation to his ministerial role was approved by Parliament after his nomination by President Akufo-Addo. Previously, Mr. Krapa served as the Deputy Minister for